Just have a look at this quick demo of how OmniServer makes it easy to get started collecting data from non-standard devices. This specific example demonstrates configuring a message to send a display message to a Marquee display device. In the command response messages section of this OmniServer protocol, we're going to add a new message. So I'll click the plus button to add a new message, and I'm going to call that send_message. And we're going to keep the defaults for the other settings here. Go ahead and expand the message. And that brings us to the configuration of the actual request and response messages that handle the parsing of any the message to be sent to the device and the parsing of any response back from the device. OmniServer supports defining favorite sequences, so I'm going to add a new favorite sequence. And you'll see here this makes configuring messages with repetitive combinations of bytes much faster and easier. So for this demo, I'm going to configure a basic favorite. I'm going to call it CRLF. And I'm just going to do a basic sequence of a combination of a carriage return and a line feed. So notice how I can easily build the sequence by using drag and drop from my control sequences module. So I want to add a carriage return. And it's in alphabetical order, so I'm going to go to line feed. I'm going to add that. And it's just that simple to build up a favorite using drag and drop as well. So then let's start building our message. This marquee requires that we start with a start of text control character. So I'm going to go back to that list of control sequences. I'm going to scroll down to the S's. I'm going to start a text. So I'm going to drag that over to the request. You'll see that gets added. And the marquee requires a command of a capital letter P. So I'm going to just type capital letter P because that's just an ASCII character which we can type directly into the message field. And then I already have an item that I created earlier in the protocol called message. So the next sequence that's required is the actual message that we want the marquee to display. So I'm going to go over to my items. I'm going to drag that up after the P. And that's an item that I'll be able to write the message that I want to display on the marquee from a client application. So next, the marquee requires that the command be terminated by a carriage return and a line feed. So I'm going to go back over to the favorite that I just created. I'm going to drag that sequence to the request. And last but not least, the documentation for the marquee says that all of the bytes following the start of text should be used in an error detection code. And we've determined that that needs to be an 8-bit LRC. So I'm going to go down to my list of standard error detection codes. And I'm going to find the LRC8, which is the error detection code that we need. I'm going to drag that up to the message. And you'll notice that I've defined a set of square brackets starting after the standard text, start of text, and following the line feed. And that just tells OmniServer what bytes to include in the EDC calculation. And that's a very basic demo of building a command in OmniServer.